cave, 40 days, only a spark to light my way. I wanna give out, I wanna give in. This is our crime, this is our sin, but I still believe, I still believe. Through the pain and through the grief, through the lies, through the storm, through the cries, through the wars, I still believe. Oh, I still believe. I march this road, I climb this hill upon my knees. If I have to, I'll take my place upon this stage. I'll wait till the end of time for you like everyone else. I'm out of my home, walking these streets. Look at the faces that I meet. I feel like I wanna go home. What do I feel and what do I know? I still believe. Oh, I still believe. Yeah, you know I do. Oh, I still believe. And I'll always believe. Oh, I still believe. I still believe. I still believe. I still believe. Stand up in the stream, I wanna see y'all get off your feet. By the end of this song, I wanna hear y'all scream it. Busy now! Oh yeah, the microphone explodes, shattering the mold. Eager about the hits like Taylor Owen, get the piss off the commode. The short shot, sure to make the bodies drop, dropping no copy, yo. Call us a co-op, terror rain, stretch and quenching the thirst. The power dawns, that 5-center fist much longer will we go on letting these bad horror movies come out with YouTubers using fake thumbnails to get you to watch it? Everybody get up! Busy now! Busy now! I need you to sing this! Pizza Parade! Pizza Parade! Alright, streamers, you know what time it is. Keep on pizzing, baby. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Pissed out, back up and back down, back up, back up. What is this doing now? Bring it up, bring it up. Pissed out, back up. Tell me what this is doing. Now I know you'll be loving that piss right here. That PIC is all up in here. People in the street, get up and get down. 'Cause the piss don't care. We don't care. Piss up in here. Number 2 6. Choose to bring your piss. Piss makes the world. You want it. Get the on the back of Bowie. This track up. Are you ready?
All right, we are live. We are live. How's
Live.
it? We are live. Mr. Ricky, we are live. Are we coming through loud and clear? Let us know out there in the chat. Let's see. That looks like we're coming through loud and clear. Let's see. Hello, hello. Let me say hello to some people in the chat real quick. Gypsy Warrior, Jeff Overing, Jared Parker, DJ Donley, Robert Long, Kelly Herreras. You got Al, Santa Mira, DL24, Joshua Snare, Geo1, Sam Watson, Anthony Jordan. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Hope you're doing well. Scary Jerry is with us. Scary Jerry, how's it going? Past 12 midnight. What's up? Okay, we're coming through loud and clear. Very good. What's up? How's it going, Eric? How you doing, man?
I'm okay.
Good. Well,
you.
good. Doing good. Good. Good.
So there's some fans out there. Yeah.
We got some people watching along with us as we kind of shoot the bull tonight and have a good time. Have a little, got
It'll
time.
be total garbage.
It'll be garbage, that's for sure. It'll be total garbage. And I will have a link. I'll post the link here in just a little bit. If anybody out there wants to jump on and say hello to Eric or ask a question or whatever you want, I'll make that link available here very soon. So, what's going on with you, Eric?
Well, a few things. Nothing. I'm a pretty boring guy normally, so I've been making a few guitars and dealing with a lot of family crap, but that's all boring. So this is a good thing for me. This tonight, just get away from it. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, an escape.
Yeah, well, how about you? How's Jeremy? How's your mom?
Jeremy's doing good. He is in bed now. 8 o'clock sharp. He's always in bed. So, put him to bed. Mom is doing good. Everybody on this side of the country is doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Are you in the safe zone over there? Are you not, is the fire away from you? Are you in any kind of danger over there?
Yeah, fire wise, yeah. But I'm a white boy. white male in Los Angeles, there ain't no safe zone.
Oh my God.
But other than that,
Okay.
Well, I said that for 20 years. I've said I'm the most hated man in Los Angeles. I'm a white male, but it's the way it is.
Yeah. But as far as those wildfires are concerned, they're not in your neck of the woods, right?
No, just a lot of smoky air and a lot of ash. A lot of ash on the cars. You're wasting time if you're washing your car. So yeah.
Let me give a shout out. Nico, thank you for that $5 super chat, sir. Very much appreciate it. Well, at least you don't have to worry about that fire. I've seen pictures people have taken like in San Francisco and I guess in northern parts of the state, and it just looks freaky, man. It looks like something out of Blade Runner.
Yeah, it looks awful. And people are. I'm lucky. You're lucky not to be involved in that. I mean, I guess the big, watching a fire kind of barrel down your hillside or your street. Boy, that's got to be just too much. Too much.
Jeez.
Induce a heart attack if nothing else. But I'm lucky. I'm a lucky guy. But you never know. Some idiot, 5 doors down may decide to shoot off some fireworks and reveal that he's he's a woman.
There you go. What are we drinking tonight, Eric?
It's kombucha. It's Passion Berry Bliss. It's actually a good one. I don't know, Synergy. These guys, they've been making kombucha forever. It's really, there's no calories in it either. There's like 16 ounces. It tastes great. And I'm telling you, I don't watch calories, but what is there, 50 calories in 16 ounces? It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different than what I would normally drink, but I like it.
Well, thank you, Drew, for the $1.30 super chat. I appreciate that. What's up, Big Crack Rock over on Twitch? Hope you're doing well, buddy. But yeah, that you actually touched on a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. I'll get to those in a minute. Guitars and nutrition, because those are both things that you definitely know a thing or two about that I think would be interesting to explore a little bit.
Okay, well, as long as it's on the cusp of being boring.
But I know I've got some musician friends who watch my videos, so they'll definitely. I'm sure they've probably seen some of the videos on your channel of you playing guitar, but they may have some questions or something. I don't know.
Correction, trying to play guitar.
Yeah. We're all learning. Even Eric Clapton is probably still learning,
Wow. God, yeah. I imagine he is.
Doesn't matter how good you are, you're probably always still learning when it comes to that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. For me, it's like when I slip up, when I'm not really paying attention, I find something different by maybe not playing a chord correctly or something. That seems to be the way I learned something else, just by accident. Like, oh, that's the way it should be, or oh, that's different. That's or it sounds strange, but I think screwing up kind of can open horizons in a way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Big Crack Rock, thank you for that gifted sub, man. Very kind of you. But yeah, I've actually mentioned, because I've had this guy on a couple of streams with me, that actually you picked this guitar out for me from a pawn shop there in Los Angeles, and you cleaned it up, you restrung it, you fixed it up for me, and you sent it my way.
Yeah, it's I like that guitar. I have one. It's Squire Bullet 80s. Really cool. Thank you for that. They didn't really know what they had down there. It was more of a pawn shop, but it dealt in gold and silver, and rings and jewelry and stuff. And, they had some guitars there, and they didn't know what that was, and I wasn't about to tell them. I mean, they're so savvy these days; they all know what they have. So, but it was surprised. It wasn't their. It just wasn't in their wheelhouse to know what it is. So.
Right. But yeah, I love it. I love the string through, because I've got this one and I've got an SG, and the SG is not strung through. This one is string through the body, and I love the string through the body because it's got a different feel to it. It's got a different resonance to it. It just sounds so good, so good.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you like it. It's got a really good neck.
Oh yeah.
Good radius, a nice curve on the neck. The radius it's just that they really knew what they were doing. My favorite guitars from that era is almost identical. It's a Strat 87, 84 to 87. It's this is it, man. It's a Squire 84 to 87 Squire E-code Japanese. And man, if you can find one sunburst like this, this is so rare, it's beyond rare. It was just one. It was a usual case for me. Found it in a pawn shop. It had a black pick guard and it was all grubby and it looked like hell. And then, but man, oh man, oh man, I wouldn't part for this for the world. So, yeah, no, it's one of those. It's. The Japanese Strats from the 80s were magnificent, and they've gotten crazy in cost, but they're still more reasonable than most. And back when I was collecting those, boy, they were a dime a dozen. No one really, Japanese.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. Sorry, I was showing that off, but that is normally they only came in red, white, and black. That was it. That's what Japan put out, and then the white ones kind of went yellow because it was the lacquer paint kind of faded. But it's so you got cream colored, red or black. That was it for Japanese, and with yours too. Same principle, black or white. And if you found anything other than that, it was generally not for import to the U.S., which I think this one was made for Japan. And because they had trick colors and different models that we couldn't get here. So
yeah, and that's a beautiful guitar. Beautiful guitar. Yeah,
I like it. I just hacking away like everybody, but it's got I refretted it with stainless steel frets. Not to bore you, but that makes it. They'll never wear out, and they're big, and you can get your fingers under it and bend, and that's the name of the game. Joe Walsh used to say this. I said, well, give us some advice, Joe Walsh, and he said high action, big frets. So there you go.
Yeah,
that's Joe Walsh. So.
Well, that's probably something that a lot of people don't know about you, is that you also build guitars, you work on guitars. You've actually worked on guitars for musicians out there in the LA area. And you've got a reputation.
A little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of the MacGyver. When there's a problem, like no one else. Who's that guy who'll do it for cheap that can fix this weird problem? Yeah, me. So I'll get called up on some stuff now and again, but all in all, it's word of mouth. I don't really. It's not like I don't do it for money. I just said, bring it over. Let me figure it out. But they're not hard. That's the beauty of a Strat. They're not Gibsons. I mean, you have that nice Epiphone and that Gibson, and those are beautiful guitars. They're well made. The neck is usually set and it's fixed on the body and it's glued in, and fantastic guitars, and they play well, and I mean, they're the Cadillac of guitars, Gibsons, and that's why all the rockers have those Les Pauls. And but they have, you know, there's a place for them. They got the power and the humbuckers, but not to bore you, other than to say that the Strats are different, but they're fun because with a Phillips screwdriver you can take one apart, and so I like that. And they have a different sound, and I never really get out of the house with my guitar, so it's not like I'm playing in front of anybody. So.
Nico out in the chat mentioned that he really likes he's really digging the Forgotten Films videos that we've been doing.
Well, that's you, man. That's you. You're the. I love it because I know. Look, not to stroke you, Pez, but you are really good at the reviews. I mean, fucking great. And the thing is, I can set it up and I can say, well, my job is done, and I just because you have a very large vocabulary and you've been doing it a while and you know what you're doing, and so it makes me look good, and I need that. So,
but it's really cool because it's kind of a break from the horror for me because we've not really discussed a horror movie yet, and we do actually the next Forgotten Films video is going to be out in the very, very near future, and it was for a really good movie that I actually sat down and watched the other night. So I should have that review out very soon, Nico. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Nico did want to know, have you seen Prime Cut with Lee Marvin or Friends of Eddie Coyle with Bob Mitchum?
Bob Mitchum. I know that movie. I've not seen that. I like that guy too. I've watched a lot of the Bob Mitchum stuff and the old Kirk Douglas stuff, but the first Prime Cuts, Lee Marvin. No, I mean I've seen a lot of the Lee Marvin movies. In fact, that one, that more obscure one, I think you've got that one, Piz. I forgot the name of it, with Clu Gallagher, and 60s or 70s. He was great. I didn't realize growing up how good he was, but he had his own style, and I like Lee Marvin. When they say less, I mean, I don't think that Charles Bronson is more effective by saying anything. He's more effective by not saying anything.
Exactly.
And so less is more with these guys because they're real kind of men. They're men, and you can't beat that. So no, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. He's right. There's some I haven't seen, and Mitchum was a fucking tour de force. I mean, the guy just had it. I used to train his daughter at the gym in North Hollywood at Gold's. Trina Mitchum. She was a script reader for Warner Brothers, and God, she was just burdened with scripts. I mean, it was her job to read and read and read, and then basically give her input of what she thought should be made into a movie. So she had a very delicate position over there, make or break, like giving her opinion on what they should do. So.
Well, and I have to thank you for turning me on to Point Blank, because that was such a good movie with Lee Marvin. Oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, I liked all those character actors, Keenan Wynn and Carol O'Connor, and James P. Sickings in there. It's a hitman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's some cool guys in there. I love that movie because it's, it's got Angie Dickinson in it. I don't know why. I think she just was so shapely and thin, and she just, God, she just ate the camera, man. She was pretty. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. And then the way that Panavision or whatever, that old school celluloid, it just looks so good. And, and what's his name? John Vernon.
Yes.
I started looking at John Vernon movies, just what he did on his in his own right the last couple months, and I know it's not horror, but John Vernon's a good actor.
Yeah,
just really good.
He was in so much good stuff, Animal House and Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and he's so memorable in Savage Streets and just everything he was in, he was good in. So I mean,
yeah, I watched this movie. I bought it and then resold it. Barry Newman from Vanishing Point. Barry Newman starred in a movie called Fear is the Key. Fear is the Key, and it has a chase scene in the beginning, but John Vernon's in it, and that's why I wanted to see John Vernon, have a substantial piece of work in a movie. And but the movie wasn't all that great. It was good. Wasn't worth the money I paid for it. If you can stream it or something, cool. But I just watched it and I said, okay, interesting. Not point blank, not memorable. But I put it back out on eBay, but because I couldn't get it any other way but to buy it. But I started looking into Vern. There's this one coming. It's like a Western with George Papard coming in. I ordered. It's like coming from another part of the world, but it's kind of a comedy Western, but I understand it's very funny. I know it's far away from horror, but I wanted to see George Papard in something where he was kind of comedic flair, and then John Vernon's in it. So I forgot the name of that, but it's apparently very good, and I'm kind of waiting on that for like 2 months. I don't know where it is, but I'll give my report on that.
Yeah. I'd look into that. 2 months is a long time. I'd check in on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like floating somewhere in Thailand right now or something.
Yeah. I've had a couple of different packages. Just kind of, it's like they disappear for. I had one that literally, it was stuck in Lexington, Kentucky, like close to me, for like a week and a half, just stuck there. And I had to open like a claim and where's my package? And then finally, it just turned up. And it got back in the system and was on its way back here, but for like a week and a half, it was just in limbo. So,
yeah, it turned up with every corner damaged and covered in dirt, like it's been dragged to an alley.
It's like they buried it or something. Yeah, geez. But next Forgotten Films with Eric Freeman video, I'm going to try and get that one out by the end of the week, hopefully. And that's another really good one, Nico. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. And it might be a movie that you've not seen, but one that you definitely put it this way. It's a movie that is inspired probably a lot of movies that you've seen, but you've not seen the movie. But it's very good. First Power 100 wants to know, who do you prefer, Clint Eastwood or Bronson? For me, Bronson.
Yeah. I think so. Bronson had his own. I don't know. He was magnetic. I like Eastwood. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it all depends. Bronson. As I said, what was that one? Hard Times with Bronson. That movie where he says next to nothing, 5 words in the whole movie. Some of his best work.
I don't know if I've seen that one, but yeah. Gosh, I've seen a lot of Bronson stuff. I don't know what it is about him. I just like it. And, I like the, some of the cheesier stuff he's done, like with the Canon folks. There's some great work from, like in the 80s with the Canon stuff, the Death Wish sequels and 10 to Midnight and, that sort of thing. Good. Just really fun, entertaining stuff. Let's see. Matt wants to know, what's the best concert you've ever been to, Eric?
Johnny Winter, a guy named Johnny Winter. He's a guitarist, and people may know him. He was real kind of skinny and very pale, almost albino, long blonde hair. My second was, I saw Ted Nugent when I was 14, when he was at his prime. It was not his prime per se, but it was when he was most popular. Just came out that Ted Nugent album. I guess I like guitar guys, but Johnny Winter, it was more of a. He played at the Guthrie in Minneapolis. It was a small, it was a theater, more for doing live theater. So the venue was very small. It was all seated. There wasn't any standing, and but he just sat out there on a stool, and he played. He had a Firebird, and he just wailed. Just he was still at his best, but. In his day, Johnny Winter could play the guitar like nobody's business. I don't think anyone could touch him. And he was a force of nature. Mm-hmm. And so Johnny Winter for sure, because I was like fifth row and I was right there, and it wasn't like the Rolling Stones, like in your face in the band and they're and loud, but it was an intimate setting with Johnny Winter. I mean, I remember I actually got down a lick from what he was playing because he played it a few times. Like he's really good. So if you're going to try to play Johnny Winter, I guess you got to work at it. I just know like a snippet of a phrase of a lick he did, and I'm like, wow. And no, I don't. I'm boring you, but no, I like Ted Nugent wouldn't appeal to many, but when you see him live, I was 14, and man, I mean, he's a showman. Back then, he crawled out in front of his Fender stacks. He must the Fenders must have been 20 feet high. Or the Marshall stacks or whatever, those speakers. He just crawled out on the ledge and he was just wailing with his Gibson.
Was it those?
Jesus.
Was it those guys that made you want to pick up the guitar and start playing it?
Yeah, well, my brother had this SG like yours, Piz, 62, a red one. He bought it for $150, and I used to go to this record store back when they had records. God, I'm dating myself. I used to go to this record store when I was like 13 and 14 and pick up albums from, used albums of Rory Gallagher and Johnny Winter and these kinds of guys that and used to bring them home. And my brother was a bit better at it than I, and we'd try to figure out what the hell they were doing. And amplification, and they could, things happen when you have amplification. We're sitting on the side of a bed trying to figure out this stuff, but I dragged home a lot of great artists back in the day. I spent all my pennies on I'd bring it home and I'd say to my brother, I'd say, hey, can you figure this out? Can we figure this?
Oh, what happened? Oh, we've lost Eric. He'll be back in a minute. He's having some Wi-Fi issues. This happened just before we started, but he'll be right back. Actually, there he is. You're back.
They are. I apologize.
That's okay. No big deal.
Sorry.
That's fine. You are back.
Anyhow, I don't know where I ended, but I was droning on.
Thank you, Supersized Block.
Anyhow, all good.
Okay. Thank you, Supersized Blockbuster, for subscribing. Very kind of you. Hello, Sting of the Scorpion 78. Matt Cheshire says he's glad you're still with us, Eric. He says, I've wondered since the 80s whatever happened to that guy.
I missed the very beginning of that. I apologize to everyone. I'm having some internet issues, but something guy.
He says that he's glad that you've been found. After all the years of people trying to find you, he's glad that you're here. Can you hear me?
Thanks. I hope you can hear me. Can you?
Yes, I can hear you.
Getting me, man?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
All right. I feel like it's drop. I can kind of hear it dropping. thanks. I just did a bad film, and they're hounding me ever since.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know what to say, but
well, that was actually, I mean,
look,
it's been like what, at least what, like 5 years since you were quote unquote found. And I mean, a lot's happened since then.
yeah.
You've been on the convention scene. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 got a great Blu-ray release from Scream Factory. You're a freaking action figure now, for God's sake. What's the last few years of your life been like?
Well, look, what do you say to it? What do you say to an action figure? It may not look exactly like me, but an action figure. Do I deserve that? No, I don't. But I have it. It's a good question. I mean, you helped me with the website, and I had this idea of these garbage cans, and geez, my life's not the same. but I don't know how to. I guess because it comes in dribs and drabs. I don't realize when you say it, I'm the most fortunate guy in the world, and I have to remember that. Thank you. I don't know. What can I say? I'm speechless. It's unusual. It's an unusual. How am I popular for that? How did this happen?
Well, a few years ago, when you were invited to your first convention, as I remember it, you didn't want to go because you said, nobody's going to come. Nobody wants to see me. Nobody cares about me. I'm going to be there all alone the whole weekend. It's just, and I said, Eric, do you remember the Finding Freeman movement? All these people all over the country for years have searched for you. And I remember telling you, like, when people come to your table, when fans come to your table, ask them where they're from. And you'll see that people have traveled hundreds of miles just to come and see you and meet you because they love that movie. They love what you did in that movie. You are that movie. Without you, nobody would be talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. There would be no figures. There would be no fanfare. It would live in the same obscurity that the other that Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, 4, 5, and 6 live in. So, I mean, you are that movie. But at the same time, I remember thinking like, oh man, I hope that a lot of people do come to see him because Eric's going to be like, this guy from Kentucky talked me into this. If I see him, I'm going to punch him right in the face. So he talked me into this madness and I have him to blame. But at that convention, it was Horror Hound in Columbus, Ohio, I think. And it was funny because the very first person I saw when I walked through the door was you, which was strange. But literally all weekend long, if I would look over to your table, you had people at your table. You had a line at your table. So I remember thinking like he's doing good. I was really happy for you.
Oh, thank you. No, you never know. I look back at that. You're right. It's like, I'm going to be like the Maytag man, right? I'm going to be like, yeah. And then I heard that Robert Wilson did really well at this. And I thought, oh my God, Rob, and I had looked at Robert. I looked at videos of Robert at conventions prior to going and there's two camps, I should say. There's two camps. There's the SNDN 2 camp. Some people like them both. A lot of people like them both, but there's definitely two entities at these
Mm-hmm.
conventions, and looking at the videos of Robert, people would ask him about Garbage Day, and he'd just kind of scoff and recoil from it, and it's like it was like and, and I thought, oh my God, this might be horrible for me. I might be like not only lonely, but they'll make fun of me or something. But no, I was very busy in Columbus, and you're right. That's the thing that because I like meeting these folks, no matter where are you from, and because I traveled the United States, and it's cool when you hear about a guy that came from parts unknown, drove down from Canada, flew in from Los Angeles, and I said, I live in Los Angeles. Let's have lunch. And but these people come from all, where you were there, Piz, and it's exciting for me more than them. They're like, some of them are really like, wow, and I'm like, wow, you drove 300 miles. Are you out of your mind? But no, I don't mean it that way. It's just I'm humbled by it, and people showing up with, you saw this, Piz, they'll show up with some arts and crafts thing they made in their wood shop or something SNDN with Robert, myself. They want us to sign it, and you just, wow. I want to thank all the folks, if there's that come out, because it's a big endeavor, and it costs money, and then they come in and they don't want. I mean, I'm just a little fish, so I look at it like, you're coming to see me? My God, tell me more about yourself, because I've traveled in Kentucky, I've traveled down in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and all the way down, and lived in Florida, and these are some of the best people in the world. They're real, so I want to hear about their little town and what's going on, because it interests me. Things like that interest me. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and you've done quite a number of conventions at this point. What have the fan interactions been like at the conventions, at the shows?
Good overall. And then sometimes when I have a break, I'll bump into somebody that I knew, or where I bumped into that guy, Tiny Lister, that big guy.
Yeah.
Tiny Lister. Yeah, he was in some other part of some humongous convention, and I went and talked to him, because I did a film back in the 80s. He was starring in, and I had a little part in, and I got to know him. But the fans are really cool, but the reaction's really been positive, and people do, they put themselves out to get there. And I know it's not just for me. They've got, they'll see Bruce Campbell or something, but it's it's like I don't really know how to react to it. I'm just a normal bloke, and so it's not like I'm always flattered, because I don't know, I people are excited, and I'm like, calm down. You're more exciting to me than I am to you. So because I'm normally a very boring guy, but I appreciate it. Look, I don't forget it, and people want an autograph or something, and I'm lucky as fuck in the world as far as that goes. I mean, how could this happen in any world? Well, it just can't happen.
Well, and now that unfortunately we're not having conventions, if you would like to get something from Eric, he has his own website, THEE, ericfreeman.com, where you can get autographed 8x10s, autographed posters. You can get autographed. I think you've still got some autographed garbage cans, right?
I've got a few.
Okay, got a few of those left.
Yeah, they come from India, and big headache from India. So I try. I buy them. You have to buy them in bulk. And
Yeah.
I don't know. They're the best ones. They're the cute, and they got the little lid. And
Yeah.
but that's I just don't want to buy an inferior garbage can.
No. You can't put your name on an inferior garbage can.
No.
There's a funny story here from Jamie in the chat. She says that my brother used to yell out "garbage day" as he would trap me under a blanket in order to Dutch oven me.
Dutch oven.
He would. Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is. Did he fart under the blanket and trap her in there?
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what it is.
That's beautiful. Dutch oven.
There you go. Oh my God. B movie. Hold on. Let me find her here. Kat wanted to say hello to you, Eric.
Kat Lovelace.
Her name is
Kat?
Queen of the B movie. She says, "Hey Eric, it's Kat."
Oh, Kat. Thank you. There's another Kat that was trying to contact me for some guy in Finland. And I thought it was a different Kat, but no. Thank you, Kat. Very kind of you. Yeah, I always like that Kat, especially if it's like K-A-T or
It's
cool.
It's K-A-T. It's K-A-T.
K-A-T, yeah.
Let's see. Eternal Horror says Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is my favorite Christmas film. Nico has got Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 already on his schedule for this holiday season, December 23rd at 10:30 p.m. So he's got it penciled right in already.
Lordy, Nico, you're a trooper. What's wrong with you? You're sick, boy. I get it. If it wasn't me, I would enjoy it too. I mean, I'm looking at it at a different level, but I can see what saves the movie is the energy of the movie. I mean, if it didn't have that energy, woo,
Mm-hmm.
it would have been something else. So
That's true.
Thank you, Nico. You're one hell of a guy.
Scary Jerry 22 says he was at the convention in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh,
so he was there.
I would remember his face if I saw him. I'm sure, absolutely. I remember faces really well, so that's nice. That Columbus and the one in Texas. Wow, I mean, all of them are great, but even the tiny ones are really good. They're people, I'll never get over the fact that they'll pile in their car and drive from Sacramento down to LA, and wait in line to see me. I want to give them more. It's like I want to tell the manager, just give them something else, just to make them, so I don't, because they deserve it, so.
Yeah. Also, I want to mention that Eric is doing virtual meet and greets, which you can go to his website and find out all about those also. Again, it's THEE, ericfreeman.com, the ericfreeman.com. One thing I wanted to ask you about is early on in your career, when you were first auditioning and you were out there trying to make it, what were some of the odd jobs that you had while you were auditioning for gigs?
Oh, wow. Well, I set a lot of ceramic tile setter. Did a lot of that until my boss got sick of me going on, auditions where I had to cut out, and then I had to come back, and I might have been out in Malibu, for example, setting tile, but I'd come back and finish my work, but I was a waiter. I don't know if they have these in all of the United States. I was a waiter at TGI Fridays.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I was a waiter there, but one day I showed up. I'm not ashamed to say it. I can't shave every day. It inflames my face too much. But I showed up there with some stubble, and this manager was kind of a hard ass, and he goes, "You just go shave." And I said, I don't have a razor. He gave me this razor. He goes, "Go dry shave." And getting ready for my shift. And I said, no, thank you. And he goes, what do you mean? I had some choice words for him. I absolutely told him off, and I didn't hold back. And because he was just an asshole.
Yeah.
But I got fired. But God, I used to do so many things. It's kind of funny that you normally say, "Hey, I was a waiter. He did this." I sold. I worked in a tanning salon for a while, and then I was selling tanning beds on the side. I did pretty well at that because I knew the product. I did everything. I was restoring a house and getting paid for it while living in it, and anything. And I did a lot of. I wasn't a model back then. I wasn't really good looking enough, but I was built. So every winter, the Japanese would come out. The Japanese, they represented, an advertising firm represented I want to get this right. It was like a Target stores. It was called Parco. Parco was in Japan. It's like a department stores. And they used to come out every winter, and we would shoot for a few weeks, up to a month, for their catalog. So we used to go out to the desert or go here, go up the coast. And so that was some really big money for me. I always look forward to that. That went like 3 or 4 years. And of course, I did a lot of extra work on all the shows that no one would know. Cagney, Lacey, and oh God, every episodic television show you can imagine. I did a lot of extra work on soap operas too, and in the background, and I know that in the acting field that wasn't. They said, "Oh, you can't do that because that's extra work, and you're an actor." You have to be able to freelance. It's kind of like they do that now with drivers and things to get you around town, and just you have to be able to freelance as an actor to get gigs as you go, because you need the time off to go to these things and then prepare for them, and then eventually not get the job after you audition for it. So you have to. Yeah, I'm being boring, but it's if anyone was listening wanting to know, all it is, I kind of had to get out of the business for my own health at one time in my life, and that's why I disappeared. But you gotta be really just an animal about it. You just gotta say, "I'm going to do this," and not stop. It's like Eye of the Tiger. You have to be driven. You have to say, "I'm going to make it." And I think it's the guy that or girl that hangs in there, and that it will make it. It's just, you got to plug away and get work, and then hopefully get work for that guy again, that director, for example. So I got to a place in the 90s where I was actually working for directors over and over. Keenan Wayans did In Living Color, and a couple other television guys, and that would request me when they could get me. Then I was busy. I couldn't, do their thing. But that's how you build it. It's just who remembers you, casting director remembers you, and finally they just, none of these guys that are well known that of as actors, they're not auditioning. Of course, I would, because I was nobody, but I long way. I've been long-winded, other than to say that tons of different jobs, and tuna fish on sale, and whatever. Buy 100 cans of tuna fish when you have money, and they're 50 cents a can, and brown rice by the 50-pound bag, and
were there
just silly?
Were there any gigs that you like? They just kept bringing you back, and you auditioned, and you had another audition and another audition, and you were close to getting it, and it just never happened. And any gigs like that?
There was one. God, I forgot the name of the film, and it was about a long distance runner, and it was 10 years before Jared Leto, who's a great actor, had done that film. It was playing a guy named Prudhomme. He was a blonde guy runner.
Prefontaine.
And I remember 10 years prior. Yeah, I auditioned for that. And I did really well. I came back. I auditioned again. And the casting director even called my agent and said, "This guy's a freaking force of nature. We love him. But he's kind of built a little bit not like a runner." and my agent said, don't work out. If they call you back, don't work out. So, yeah, I got real close, and I just remember some scene. It was a different script than what I saw Leto do. Of course, Leto, I can't imagine anyone else doing that work. They eventually made that movie, and I forgot the name of it. You just said it. He did such a fantastic job, and he's such a good actor. But I remember auditioning for that 3 times in front of all the money people. And I remember I did really well. There was some scene where it was raining outside, and I came in, and I made sure that I represented a person coming in from the outdoors, from out in the rain, and just gave tiny little hints that I was soaking wet. But it was a lot of dialogue, and I remember, and you'll notice this you probably notice this, Piz, when you're doing your work and you're reviewing something or talking to people, when you know what's going well while you're doing it, and it's like these two worlds, the reality and then the non-reality you're doing, but the reality of knowing how well it's going. That audition, I remember I left, I told my agent, I called him and said, if I'm not getting this at this point, I don't understand, because they all loved it. And I just don't think the project went forward. I think they just shelved it, like, sometimes projects just go into the toilet. So
yeah.
But it wasn't really for me. I wasn't, but it could have been in a sense that I did everything they wanted, but I wasn't blonde with blue eyes, and I wasn't like Jared Leto. I wasn't, he's got all the goods. He looked like him. So, but there was a few like that. Where the casting director calls the agent. That doesn't happen. I'm not blowing my horn, but some of these I did go out on these auditions where you just you got it. 9 times out of 10, when I left, I said, I've got this, and they never tell you like, oh, we like you for this. They just said thank you and see ya. But inside, like, man, if I'm not in the top 2, I don't understand. But I started getting good at the auditions, really good at them. I wasn't like Caldwell. I was good. Well, you
have a very
it was fun.
You have a very interesting story.
I'm sorry.
You got a very interesting story on how you actually got cast as Ricky, and it's kind of a life lesson that I think would be good for people. Is if you want something, ask for it, because you were just auditioning for like one of the cops, some ancillary guy, but you spoke up and you said, hey, what about the lead? because they didn't see you at all for the lead until you said, well, hey, what about me in the lead? And that at least sparked, what was it the producer or was it Lee Harry who thought, well, hey, maybe he can be our lead?
Yeah, it was Larry. His name flew out of my head. It'll come back to me. He was the producer of the film. Larry was kind of a bigger than life New Yorker, and he was the boss of Lee Harry, the director, and Joe Earl. Joe Earl and Lee wrote the script, as it were, the additional footage for Silent Night, Deadly Night to make it part 2. And Larry liked me. I mean, but Lee and Joe had their eyes on, forgot the actor. I don't know what's in my head. I don't forget anything, but yet I am. And he'll come to me. But yeah, you're right. I went down there, auditioned for a cop. And it was after a series of auditions where I just was fed up with this 1-line stuff or 2-line stuff. And I wasn't arrogant, but I just was sick and tired of the 1-liners or going on auditions and there's nothing wrong with saying a word or two. I mean, it's all very thrilling, but I came into that one. And when I was leaving, I saw Lee and I said, well, who's got the lead? And Joe instantly piped up that, oh, we got that locked down. And Lee had just said the same thing. Yeah, we've got that. We're just looking for, the smaller ancillary roles, as you said. So but I planted the seed, but I did speak up. And you're right. It's a good life. It doesn't matter what it's in acting or, I think that always remember, if you have any doubt in your head, if you are ready for the foreman's job and the foreman's moving on to another, he's going on to Poughkeepsie to be the foreman over at that plant, talk to the boss, go right up to the top and knock on their door and say, I'd like John's job and I'm ready for it. I know every part of it. Don't be scared. Don't sit and, what is that? There's a term for that, but don't just sit and torment yourself that you didn't speak up. Speak up, because I just was sick of it. I wanted more, and so it doesn't matter in what facet of life you're in. Speak up if you think you're ready for it, even if you're not ready, but you think you're ready. Go ask away.
Yeah.
Man, it pays off. I'm glad I did it, and I've changed dialogue and stuff I've done since. Where I'm in the middle of a scene and maybe they give me the wrong line and I just keep it going and I get off script and they get mad, but sometimes the writing isn't so good, and if you make it better, well, fine. I'm not saying do a Edward Norton and change the script on the director and show up, but saying that talk it out when you have if you don't like something or you want something more. But thanks for bringing that up, because it's a life lesson of nothing else. Just speak up. And what gave me that kind of courage is probably bodybuilding. And because if it weren't for that, I came from a different background. I was kind of, I was like a guy that was more I used to get my ass kicked a lot growing up, and I got into that. It gave me a lot of self-assurance and a lot of presence coming into rooms and stuff. I felt like I owned a lot of the rooms I walked into, and that was from something that I believed in, something that was good for me. So yeah, speak up.
Yeah.
And women should do that more. Than women are really more capable in many ways than men are in situations in the workplace, and they should speak up because you deserve that freaking job. And if you're doing your boss's job anyhow, ask, and he's leaving, go over his head and get that, rather than they go and find some replacement. They can get it in-house, and it should be someone in-house. So
Yeah.
thanks for that. I'm droning, but it's important. That's that's the best advice that you could have laid out there for him. It's ask for it.
Yeah. We've had at least a few people in the chat ask about In Living Color. There's of course a clip of you on In Living Color online that is very memorable for a lot of people. But what was and you even mentioned that you worked for Keenan Ivory. He was, you were sort of on his list of people to call. What was working on In Living Color like?
Wow. Good. Fast paced. They had those fly girls, the dancers.
Uh-huh.
And they had always a big segment on the show. A lot of energy on the show. A lot of the they had the was it not the FCC? I guess it was it was these monitors, that you couldn't say this and couldn't say that. They had monitors constantly on the show, cutting people's dialogue, and because they had a tendency of being risque, I guess, or pushing the envelope or whatever. It was the time of Married with Children and In Living Color, and but yeah, that you might have mentioned that. I think it was the Men on Film thing with Damon Wayans and David
Greer,
the other
David
guy,
Allen
the
Greer.
Men on Film, Alan Greer, the critics. Yeah, good. There was actually a ton more dialogue in that. Trust me, that was R-rated for sure. They came and hacked that to hell, and Damon Wayans was more pissed than anybody because he had all this great dialogue, and they just kept trimming it down, and but they got away with a lot too. So I like that show. It would be very nice. I remember I auditioned for that, and I didn't get out of the building. That's one time I liked it because I didn't leave that studio without getting the job. He pretty much gave it to me as I was walking down the hall. So, which is amazing because back then there were so many beautiful men. They were just stacked up like cordwood. And there were so many people in that audition. So many. And I don't know. I wasn't really scared I was in shape. I'll admit it. I was in shape, and I just threw my shirt off and did whatever they wanted and picked it up and then just left. And so I was like, all right, another audition all the way across town for this. And it worked. But no, Keenan Wayans was quiet. Just a really decent soul. I mean, you could tell he had the burden of the whole show on his shoulders and trying to get one done every week, but a nice guy. Just we didn't say more than 2 words. He said, yeah, I want you for this. And they called me in the hallway to see him. And he said, yeah, we're good. We're shooting Friday. It was that kind of thing. So,
cool.
I did meet, what's his name?
Jim Carrey?
God, what is it with my brain today? Jim Carrey. A couple times. Yeah, I was in a scene, did a thing with him, Rescue 911 or something. He was playing like Shatner, William Shatner. Nice guy, but he had all but checked out. He was Ace Ventura and beyond at that point. He was, or The Mask or something. He was already huge, and he knew it, and so good for him.
Yeah,
but good show, good for me. I was just a little. Bruce Willis came down the hallway and met him because he was getting ready to do the film with Damon Wayans for. Yeah, yeah. It was so they teamed together as like a cop, ex-cop, fired ex-cop, and a football player, and people know the film.
I love that
And
movie too. I
Bruce,
can't believe I can't think of it. Oh,
I know what's So it was a good movie. It was a good action movie, and so Bruce Willis came down the hallway, and I saw him, and we talked for a minute, and I said, "Yeah, I was on your show as an extra like forever on Moonlighting," and I said, "Yeah, you were funny on that show." He was great on Moonlighting. So he was kind enough to give me a few. I mean, I wasn't drooling or anything, but I just he probably remembered me because I was on that show so much as an extra, and then I came back a year later, and I actually had some dialogue on that show. It's kind of interesting.
cool.
But
The Last
no,
Boy
I know
Scouts.
he and Sybil Shepherd was.
The Last Boy Scout
was
was
great.
that movie. Love The Last Boy
Last
Scout.
Boy Scout.
Yes. We've got a
Good
couple.
movie. Good movie.
We've got a couple of people in the green room. I'm going to bring them on to say hello, and then we've got some people who are asking about health and fitness and nutrition questions, which is something that I definitely want to cover with you momentarily. But let's bring on Al. He's been here for a little bit. Al, what's up, man?
Okay.
Hey, Piz, thanks for having me on, man.
Hey, how's it
There
going?
he is.
Eric, what's going on, man?
Big Al. Hey,
How are
Al.
things over there?
We chat. We chat on occasion, don't we?
Yeah, did I talk to you all the time on the phone, man?
That's right.
And
You
no, but Eric, I know a lot of people want to get in, so I don't want to take too much of your time. I mean, but I just wanted to say, and I can call you anytime. I've been following your advice. I'm down to 205 right now, and my goal weight is 170. And I've been doing your push-up routine, and I've noticed the difference that it's toning up. I'm seeing like that tricep, the horseshoe, and stuff like that. So thank you for that. And also, I hope you're staying safe out there. I know what's going on in California. Just please stay safe, man. You're a really nice guy, and every time we talk, man, we talk for hours about anything and everything, and so my question is, Eric, I guess, because I don't want to take up anybody else's time. I know a lot of people want to talk to you. Is you made that video, man, on your YouTube page where you're in a Utah State mental hospital. Do you plan on doing something like that again, Eric? Like I thought it was really good. It was like a 7-minute short where you're sitting there and they're interviewing you. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. My apologies. I think we dropped out. It's my fault. My Wi-Fi. Am I still on?
Yeah, he's talking about Ricky Today, the great Ricky Today that you wrote.
Ricky Today.
Yeah.
There we go. No, I appreciate it. No, Al. Thanks. I did that for Shout Factory, and they gave me they gave actually Justin, I think, the clip of that, so I could put it on YouTube. But yeah, I like I just resurrected. I really played Caldwell, the real Caldwell, sitting in the institution being interviewed. And he's talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 and the performance of that actor, Eric Freeman. So I was able to separate myself from talk about the actor. And that way I could gush, like how great he was. So the real Caldwell is just completely, loves this trail of his life, and thanks. Wow, that thing, that I envision having a big room and being like the back in the day, like when we did that sanitarium shot with Dr. Bloom, and I thought I'd have room, and I ended up they shoved me in this little closet, and So, we got 20 minutes, and it's like, shit, how am I going to get this down? So, hey, it worked out. But thanks, Al. That's really, thanks
man.
for bringing that up. No, I wanted to do it.
Yeah, thanks, man. Well, Eric, I don't want to take up too much time. Be safe out there in California. Like I said, man, we'll be in touch, and thank you for all the advice. It's paying off, and just be safe out there, man.
Al, your arms are huge.
Thanks. It's all because of you, man.
Well, thanks.
No, you have to do what we have to do. We don't have. Thanks, Piz. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Al. Take care, man.
All right, man. Later, guys.
Later. Yeah, very cool, man. Giving Al some workout advice. That's very cool. And that's something that a lot of people may not know about you. You used to be a personal trainer, and you know a lot about fitness and nutrition, and you've helped me a lot, and I'm glad that you're helping Al. And I've actually tried to talk you into doing some videos on your channel all about health and nutrition and what have you.
Yeah, I've been giving it some thought in what I would like to do on that. Just the fundamentals of how to stay away from the doctor. Certain supplements, and it might be boring and not this isn't the right venue, but yeah, no, I've learned a lot. I've learned a hell of a lot in the field. So there's always somebody that knows more, of course. There's tons more to learn, but thanks. No, I was glad, Al, we talk, and the gyms aren't open yet anywhere, and he was asking what can I do, and I just thought of the basics, and push-ups and pull-ups and this and that, but they work. And push-ups from your knees instead of your feet, because it's not only easier, you can get more, but it's more biomechanically correct. That the radius is better. It's better on your joints. Mm-hmm. It's the curve, the circle you make when you're doing a push-up from your knees is much more favorable biomechanically to your shoulders. They're very boring, but I'm glad Al's huge. He's big and strong. I knew he was big and strong. He talked about what in his past, what he used to do. And he's one of those guys that you can count on when you need to lift a house, you call Al. So my buddy Monty wants to know, do you recommend spinach and turkey to lean out? Turkey's good. Turkey, any lean meat. Fish would be even better. But it's just staying away from those single molecule sugar. This sugar, everyone just says sugar, but the bigger game on the larger encompassing, if we're going to be boring for a minute, just make sure your expenditure exceeds your intake. You take in 2,000 calories, make sure you're burning 2,300 calories, in a sense that you just have to back off a bit and modify. The carbohydrates are the killer. Everything that tastes good, you just got to back off on, and the bad fats, no trans fats, no this, no that, and bad fats. The only good fats you should take in are omega-3 fish oils. I really should do that video, because there's like 5 things that I want people to do that it costs a little bit of money, but I look at it like, don't see the doctor, don't get this itis as you age, don't get that itis. There's always, the body breaks down at a certain point. Everybody, your audience, Piz, and you are young. You're 40 or 39 or 38 or 35, but life can get cruel after 40. I'm not too sure how to. Everyone's diet, you got to find out what works. Resistance exercise, call it bodybuilding or call it Pilates or whatever you want to call it. Building muscle burns calories 24 hours a day, and I've always liked that. I always like that your body needs sustenance if you're a bodybuilder, and all you can eat more and lose weight because your body really needs the glucose and protein. But I just generally would say, if anyone wants to start doing something right, go to bed empty. Go to bed empty. That would be my best advice. If you're going to bed at 10 p.m., make sure your stomach's empty at 10 p.m. You'll be amazed. You'll feel better in the morning. You'll be more refreshed. You won't be groggy, or you'll feel way better. And you're not sitting on any calories when you go to sleep, because that your body's hibernating at that point, and that's when you would convert any type of glucose into a triglyceride, into fat. Is when you sleep. You just don't want to have a heavy meal and go to bed. So it's very boring, but that would be some good advice to start. Go to bed empty, and unless you can't, unless that would keep you awake. But that, as boring as that is, that would be some good advice.
Yeah, no, I think that is good advice. I think you're full of good advice in that arena, and that's why I've wanted you to kind of explore that on your channel, because I think you could help a lot of people out. There's a lot of people out there who just don't know, the fundamentals. So
yeah, there's just so many smart people out there, Piz. I mean, there's so I'll search around too, and there's Dr. Berg and Dr. this and Dr. that, and some of these guys are really, really bright, and I seek out information always. So I don't want to go out and give bodybuilding tips, because there's better bodybuilders and there's smarter ones, and so on. I know all those tricks, and the nutrition tricks are not only good for bodybuilding, but we're so deficient as human beings. It's not in the soil. The soil is so depleted and it's very boring. But other than to say that our soil has been played out, and minerals are metabolic spark plugs, and we need all these minerals, and we need the nutrition we can't get in our diet from the grocery store. And that's my particular angle. When I was training people, that was always my thing. I dare say that if I had a new client in the gym, I would look outside the windows to the street, and I would tell the client, I said, how you comport yourself out there will determine how good you look in here. And some of them got it, some of them didn't. But it's very easy to leave the gym and go have a 1,200 calorie, granola, bowl of granola, so you can blow it, just stepping outside and living life. So it's really how we comport ourselves in the real world that will determine our health, and building muscle is pretty straightforward. I mean, it's not a secret. There's plenty of good people out there. It's not my thing. How much more can I put on? I can't. I'm 50 plus. So, but the nutrition, I know it's boring for some, other than to say that the game is really what you're shoving in your pie hole. I like pizza. I like chocolate ice cream. I like bear claws. I like licorice whips. I like Pepperidge Farm, whatever. But
yeah, no, I hear you.
I don't.
Yeah, I hear you.
I love it, man. I drive by In-N-Out Burger every day. I'm like, oh man. so like, no, but
well, let's see. We've got. I don't have any. We've got some other people here in the green room. Let me see. My buddy Lorne is in the green room. Let me get to him here. No, Lorne is not in the green room. He was. Lorne, if you're still watching, jump in the green room. We have got the other Jason from Influence Films here. Jason, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, how are you guys?
Doing good, man. You got a question for Eric?
Yeah, I do. Hey, Eric, I love Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, first of all, so thank you. And I'm going to kind of shift gears. I was loving what you guys were talking about, so I hope to hear more. So Piz does those live streams for the Unsolved Mysteries stuff, and I was just curious if you'd seen the new Unsolved Mysteries, and then also like in any of your film experiences, they have that thing that's like the curse of what happens at horror movies as far as like if there's spooky stuff that goes on. So were there any like real life spookiness going on, or maybe a general sense too? Like, do you believe in ghosts? Just kind of talk about that maybe.
I have not. I know that Piz has got that whole section he does in the Unsolved Mysteries, and I've tuned in myself, and I like that. Ghosts, I don't know, but I gotta say I do believe that there's a power out there. I don't want to just say God, but there's something out there. There's quick story, but I had to euthanize a cat I had once. This beautiful cat, just the greatest. And I was walking out the back door of the house, and I already had dug a hole for the cat where she liked to hang out between the bushes. But I brought the cat out. She was wrapped up in a towel, and it was a really foggy day. It was just gray and no sun. And I walked out with the cat holding on. I was crying. This cat was really something else. And walking out with the cat, and there was a beam of light that came out of that pea soup, that fog. I mean, it was a 5,000 megawatt light right on the cat, right on me, as I walked out to the hole I dug. And the reason I mentioned that is that light stayed on me. And when I put the cat in the hole and covered her up, and then that light dissipated when I filled the hole, and the lady next to me that saw this, she just couldn't believe. What I'm saying is there's something out there. There's call it God, or just there's something out there that I'm a believer. There's something out there. So if someone had said there's ghosts, or this house has ghosts, why wouldn't it? I mean, it's very possible when we die. And so perhaps they could stay in the Bates Motel, who knows? And so I don't know. I love that unexplained and unsolved mystery stuff, but I don't look for it, but I do understand that there's things out there we don't know. We don't know much as human beings. I'll leave it to the people more in tune. I don't know what you want to call it. What would be the word for it? But just there are people out there that have abilities that I don't, in their senses and stuff. So, good question though.
You mentioned Unsolved Mysteries. Eric was actually in a segment on America's Most Wanted, where he did something really bad, little murdering going on. So, but that clip is on YouTube, and I would recommend you guys check it out.
Awesome, thank you guys.
All right, thanks Jason. Take care, man. Have a good night. All right, and Lauren is back. Lauren is back. So let's see what's up with Lauren here. What's going on, Lauren?
Not nearly enough or too much. I don't know which. Hey, Eric.
Hi, Lauren.
Hey, so I've been meaning to ask you, what exactly does Piz have as blackmail against you that you're willing to come on his channel?
It's a good. Yeah, well, it's probably the opposite. I'm usually like calling him saying, "Hey, man, give me some love." So, no, I don't know how it happened. Lauren, I always like watching you on the show too, because you're you have a great knowledge of the film industry and beyond. You know, production and I mean, man, you know a lot, a lot.
Thank you. That's terrifying.
But I think I saw him unwrapping. Like you were doing something. I first saw him reviewing my film, and then I saw him doing an unwrap of something out there. Maybe it was the Ricky doll or something.
It was a shirt. It was a frat rag shirt with you on it.
Shirt, frat rag shirt. Yeah. So that was, and I caught a hold of him, and back then no one said, "Oh, sure, it's him." I just said, "Hey, it's Eric Freeman. I saw you undo my shirt or whatever." And, so but that's the way it came to be. I'm a little guy. I mean, Piz has got he's got the enterprise. So I am appreciative. I think rather he's doing me a favor, if anything, still.
Well, no, I think that you've, whether you know it or not, and I think you do have a better inclination today than you did probably a while back, but you've brought a lot of joy to a lot of people in an unexpected way, perhaps. But there's a lot of people that would rather have Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 in their life than not. And you shouldn't devalue that. Piz is just the big cheerleader for guys like you. Don't let him fool you. But,
oh, thanks.
Oh, no. Listen, even the smallest players in the smallest films, the guy who's published one short story, or the painter who only ever got to do commercial work, we all build the society piece by piece, and you never know what's going to matter to people. So you'd be proud of everything you've accomplished, even if it wasn't exactly where you intended to end up with it. Because, my God, this is the only way we can have a society that means anything, is if people are creating. So thank you, sir.
Yeah. Oh, no, thank you. Your words are very kind. You just don't think it's gonna. I thought she was gonna die. I saw the movie in the theater and I said, "Oh, thank God, it's gonna die." It's like 1988, Piz, maybe. Yeah. Like, well, good riddance. Wow. No, I appreciate it. Look, I had some direction in that movie, we wouldn't be talking. So thank God that Lee was busy.
Incompetence saves the day again.
Yeah, in a way, it's like I'm too busy to help you, Eric, and I was like, damn.
Because nothing is as important as like the lead performance or anything.
No, I can appreciate watching him, how he was just overwhelmed with. Lee was really into those. There's some nice shots. There's a lot of intricate stuff going on, that short little pieces that we added to that movie. But I do thank you for your kind words, Lauren. I'm lucky. Who would think it'll live beyond my life, hopefully. Who would, how? I'm like, how? I still don't get it 33 years later. I don't even want it to be 33 years. I want to do the sequel to this damn thing before my hair completely falls out and it's all gray.
So
damn
it. The hair falling out thing is just something that happens. You can't control, man.
No, but but I want to retain some level of Caldwell. I got to give him Caldwell. But that's just a dream of mine. I've been trying real hard on it, not hard enough. But I guess it would be a question, Piz, that if I could ask the group here, because this would be the perfect time.
Sure. Because
I'm just nobody now. I'm just a garbage guy. But I still think that I've always thought that I needed the Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 rights which has always been the big hang up to go forward and try to do the sequel that I've got written. It's a great script and the people that have seen it are like it. And I'm just wondering if I don't need them. I wonder if Caldwell, garbage man, has enough to maybe get something made. And I've always thought that, no, I'm not, Orlando Bloom or something. I'm not a Colin Farrell. So you'd say, well, you don't, I don't have a name to trade on. So I'd be curious though, if many people said, go forth and fuck the rights. So
Wait,
what do you think?
I think that who was the writer of the new material in Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2? Because that gentleman now can revert he can revert his rights to his original contributions to the screenplay. Get together with him, and you could actually probably do this thing.
Well, I've looked into who owns the rights, and he's actually the gentleman that wrote the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. He wrote it, got paid. He thought he was going to be a producer in Silent Night, Deadly Night, but they basically paid him about $8,000 and pushed him out. And he forever was trying to get control. He wanted back in. He wanted to do something with the rights, and he's now been given the rights by a man that recently died, and he's deceased, and he got the rights in the will. But that gentleman doesn't like Part 2. He's a nice guy, and I like him. And he's a purist. He likes SNDN, but he's not willing to help me because he's kind of still. He's been very close to getting a reboot of SNDN done, and through circumstances of COVID and this and that, it's fallen through, and so he's out there selling. He's trying to sell SND, and he would probably help me if he had a payday on this. But the point is I've always believed I needed the rights, which is a big deal, to get Caldwell. I have this sequel. It's called Unhinged, and it's the real sequel to Caldwell's life. 25 years later. And it's people would like it. It's not what they would expect, but I think they would like it. And so I'm talking a lot other than to say everything's in order on my end. It's just, I was just recently turned on by a pretty big outfit because he's just getting out of horror. But I again got close. But that's how it's working. Can I do it without SNDN rights?
No.
I'd love to.
Not what you. I've read this screenplay, and it's very, very good. And I've told you this, not just because I'm a friend of yours, but because it's a really good screenplay. It's not a horror movie, so it doesn't need the Silent Night, Deadly Night name in front of it. You can change the character's name to Ricky Baldwell. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be. You can change the character's name to whatever. It's good enough to stand on its own. And actually putting the name Silent Night, Deadly Night in front of it may be a detriment to it because it's not a horror movie. It's a body count. It's got a big body count, but it's an action revenge thriller with a massive body count. It's not really a horror movie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The name,
good point. And it is.
The name Silent Night, Deadly Night would certainly get eyes on it, but it may get eyes on it that would go, wait a minute, this isn't Silent Night, Deadly Night. This is The Fugitive meets Death Wish.
It is. Perhaps a mistake of how I wrote it, but it was just organic, and it felt good, and it was Caldwell.
Mm-hmm.
And the death in it is just all Caldwell. There's no guns. No one's dying from a gun in this one. I mean, it is up close. It's Caldwell, and I appreciate that. It's filled with humor and all. I think it's a good script. I like it because it can stand on its own. If someone, a name, saw this, they say, I want to do this, because it's full of juicy material. And I thank you for your words, Piz. But yeah, you make more sense to say, because it is an action thriller, among other things, but it's not what people would expect. They'd say, oh, well, Caldwell's going to get up off the pavement and start swinging axes and, garbage day and so on. But which there's a lot of Caldwell there. There's plenty of Caldwell to keep people satiated for Caldwell, but it's a revenge action thriller. You're right. So I just think it's good, and I wish I could just get someone to back me on this thing, because I can get someone to distribute it. Shout Factory wants it to distribute this, and another group does too. They said, get it done, we'll pay you for distribution, but it's the get it done part. And that, Lauren, quite well how hard it is to get something going. So
but they make pills for most of those things anymore, so I'm good.
We have somebody all the way from Japan who's watching tonight who says he's a big fan.
Oh,
all the way from Japan, Martin. Thank you, Martin. All right, Lauren, take care, man. Thanks for dropping in. It's great seeing you.
Thank you so much
Thanks,
for
Lauren.
both of you.
I do want to mention one thing. Eric did some voiceover work for something that you guys will see at the beginning of episode 1 of Region Free on October 1st. So you guys make sure to tune in for that.
So what he's really saying is that technically I directed Eric Freeman.
Technically, sure. Hey,
There you go.
there you go. So mark your calendars
Thanks, guys.
for October 1st, Region Free, episode 1. Thanks, Lauren. Take care, buddy.
thanks, Lauren.
Let's see. The link is in the chat. If anybody wants to jump on and say hello to Eric or ask a question or anything, here, I'll post it again. We're probably going to wrap it up here in another, 20, 30 minutes. So if you want to jump on and say hello, go for it. Let's see. A lot of people are interested in your idea for Unhinged. So, yeah. Nico says, Eric, you are inspiring. Gratitude is a lesson I'm still trying to learn at 61, and people like you urge me toward it.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Yeah, pretty cool. Let's see. We've got Jeff in the green room. Jeff, what's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. What's up? You got a question for Eric?
I don't have a question. I really don't know. I just want to say hi.
Oh,
Hi, Jeff.
Yeah, but hi. I actually have a sweater of Silent Night, Deadly Night 1. I want him to sign. I don't know how to do it though. Yeah. How that would work.
Jeff would like to. He's got a Silent Night, Deadly Night sweater. He'd like for you to sign, Eric.
No problem. Look, it's not a problem. Probably go to my website, and from that, there's an email. You can always email me, Jeff. And if there's, all I would ask you to do is send me it. And if you had like a SAS, like a self-addressed stamped envelope to get it back to you, I'll sign it. If you can get it to me and you got some postage to get it back to you, that's as good. That if there's a place to sign a sweater, there might be probably the logo or something or whatever.
It's the first one,
I can work it out.
That's cool. All right.
So there you go, Jeff.
Yeah.
Go
It
to.
might be hard.
Yeah, go to Eric's website, the Eric Freeman, THEE, ericfreeman.com, and just send him a message.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to ask.
All right, Jeff. Well, take care, man. Have
All
a good
right.
night.
You too. Thanks. Have a good one.
Yeah, see you,
Thanks,
man.
Jeff.
Be safe.
Yeah, later. All right, very cool. If anybody else out there would like to jump on and say hello to Eric or ask a question, go ahead, and that link is in the chat. Gabe, my buddy Gabe, says, we watched SNDN2 every Christmas on deployment. My buddy Joel's favorite Christmas film. Lots of great memories. Very cool. Thank you for that, Gabe. Yeah. Yeah, we've got quite a lively chat here.
I don't know if it's Army or Navy or Marines, but thank you.
Yeah, what's
cool.
What branch of the military did you serve in, Gabe? Let us know.
Yeah, I agree. But there's a bunch of jarheads out there yelling garbage day.
Bunch of jarheads out there yelling garbage day. Storming off into battle, yelling garbage day. Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
Fucking right.
Oh, man.
I like it.
Oh, man. Well, Eric, I just want to thank you for... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I talk too much. I'm sorry, man.
I was just
going to say, go ahead, Piss.
I was going to say thank you for your time tonight and hanging out and shooting the bull with us, and it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. I've been talking too much, but I appreciate it. Wow. It's still, to me, I can't believe it. Some days I wake up and it's like, yeah, I gotta get a couple cans out or whatever I'm doing. I'm like, it's weird. It's weird. Normal guy, clean my own toilet. What am I doing being known for something? So, thank you. I appreciate it.
Let's see. Gabe says he served in the Navy, U.S. Navy, USS Carl Vinson. Cool.
Carl Vincent.
And we've got Jeff here.
That is cool.
Just joined us. What's up, Jeff? How's it going, man? You got a question for Eric?
Yeah. I was just curious. I had actually read that you may have been unaware of the cult status of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. And I was just kind of wondering, like, what was that first evening like when you got on the internet and you were like, my God, it's everywhere? The memes, all that. I mean, what was that like? Was it just surreal?
Yeah, I'll try to be quick, but I didn't. You're right. I didn't know, and Piz knows the story. But I was back east getting a car that was my brother had stored, and a friend of mine I grew up with had said, "Oh, Eric, you got to really look at this Finding Freeman thing, and you got to look at this." And I said, "What?" And I said, "Finding," and he just said, "You did a movie in the 80s, a horror movie." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And so it was his brother, John James. It was Matt and John James, but his brother, John, was really involved in the Finding Freeman camp. And but I went down in their dungeon, their basement, and looked on the computer. And you're right. I was Jesus. And, I couldn't, of course I was gravitating to a lot of the negative. I guess we do that as human beings, but it's like, wow. I didn't, people putting the video up, the garbage day. And at that time it was like 5 or 5.5 million hits or something. And it's like, how can this be? And, so you're right. Because I was late to the game. I mean, real late. So, it was a shock. It was like, holy smokes. And then I was driving home 2,000 miles from Minnesota to LA, and I'm, because the negative was in my head, like, well, I'll show you. And that's when I dreamed up the idea of a sequel to Caldwell. So I'll show you. I can do a good job. Yeah. And so that's how that came to be. But you're right. There, if it weren't for the prodding of my friend and to look at this stuff, because he was telling me 6 months prior about it, and I didn't really. I got to say I didn't listen for some reason. But thanks for bringing that up. I found out the hard way. real late, but
I just checked. The Garbage Day video on YouTube now has over 8.5 million views.
Wow.
yeah. God, I hope that guy monetized that. You know, I was thinking he probably didn't monetize it.
I don't know.
But thank you. You look so familiar. You're part of Piz's group, yeah?
I do some of the Patreon streams of his, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And because I said he looks so familiar, where I thought I either met you or I've watched you, because I usually I'm an audience member too and watching. So yeah, that's where. Yeah, I like the whole gang. I like Piz's gang. Everybody's knowledgeable in your field, and I like watching that stuff. So thank you, because the content is good. Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking time to take questions from us, man. I think it's awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh no, it's I love it. I love it. I still have a little camera. I'm still a little bit of a whore for the camera, so can't get rid of that. So no, thank you. Really kind. I think as time goes on, I wasn't never an arrogant person back when I was doing work like that, but time as a way of making someone more humble. I think you watch that with actors, and it's unfortunate because some of their best work are when they were completely, Piz, this. It's like you want them to be just throw caution to the wind and have, think, if you think you're like the cat's ass, you can do some dynamite work because you don't have any self awareness or concern of how you look or this or that. But as time goes on, you for me anyhow, I just feel like I'm more humble and lucky that I'm lucky as hell. Shit, what can I say? But I would never want to go in front of the camera and not give everything and be damned the things that you worry, you concern yourself as an actors. I know what they're like. As they age, they get more self. My brain today, I'm surprised, but they just their performances get weaker because they're not the stick of dynamite they used to be, and I think that you can see that as time goes on. But I'm at least now aware that life is precious, man. So I'm doing my best to preserve myself as best I can. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for dropping by, man. Thanks for the question.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, man. Take care, buddy. We got some Minnesota love in the chat tonight. Also, Nico says he is originally from Minnesota, and we had somebody else say that they were from Minnesota. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. Zanzuls. They're a Minnesota native too. So got some Minnesotians in the chat tonight.
Very good. Yeah, that's how it's not an easy life there. 40 below and mosquitoes as big as frisbees, and it's tough.
This is very
tough.
true.
You got to be a tough son of a bitch to be there. Really, I mean, you got to plan. When you have to plan getting to work, it ain't easy. So, you may be shoveling.
That's true.
Did I plug the? So there's my battery gonna hold up? Did the snow plow my driveway in? Is there 4 feet of snow at the end of my driveway at that street? There's all sorts of things you worry about in Minnesota. So I can appreciate it. I love the Midwest because the people are freaking real. Out here, I don't know. I'm still a fish out of water. I think the further you get west, I don't know if it's the water or the air, but that whole thing of people talking about people from LA being nuts, they're right. I haven't lost. I'm so lucky I haven't lost who I am. And that was from, it's like growing up in Kentucky, Piz, or Wyoming, or, Utah, or South or North Dakota. It's a certain life, and it challenges you more than out here, and you don't have time to go to psychiatrists and worry about, did I drop?
No, you're still here.
Here we are.
Yeah, you're still
Anyhow, thanks for letting me go on.
Well, we've got
my screen went blank, and I know
we've got the holidays right around the corner. Halloween is on the way, although I think they've probably canceled Halloween out there, right?
out here? Yeah. They cancel everything that could be fun. Or we got I don't mind saying it. We got a whack job governor, and we got even a more whack mayor. What can I say? Can I say that they're far leftist crazy people? Yeah, they are. They're far leftist crazy. They're completely. They're Nancy Pelosi's, and yuck. Nobody likes her, and so I'm sorry if you like her, but she's another batshit crazy individual. We seem to grow them out here. Worst. Eric Swalwell and Adam Schiff, and you don't have a fucking thimbleful of brains. Well,
somebody asked in the chat earlier.
Sorry.
That's okay. Somebody asked in the chat earlier, because it will be Christmas time here. It will be upon us very soon. Do you watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 on the regular? How many times do you think you've watched it?
Well, I mean, in the past I've watched it because it's been part of something we've done, or like a stream, or it's a good question. And a short answer would be, if I do watch it, I want to try to make it look like I'm just watching some crazy person, and it makes it easier. I did it, in many ways all wrong, but because he's a ball of fire, it's like, yeah, all right, you're fucking nuts. So I'm sorry, but it's hard for me to watch myself, and Piz, you know this, and like Lauren would know this, many of your members know this. It's and they probably heard that actors don't watch their work. Some of them never watch it, so it makes perfect sense that I wouldn't want to watch it. But I dabble. I'll look at it, but I don't generally make a point of firing it up on any certain date. But he is entertaining. I can't deny it.
Joe Reese says, Eric, thanks for appreciating your fans. He just wants to thank you for being appreciative of your fans. So there you go.
No, it's really not. I like that's really kind. We talked on that, but it's worth repeating in the sense that talking to people and their experiences with it, or that their dad showed it to them when they were a kid and their dad's passed away. Some people will come up literally crying about, because they'll bring their dad into it, and it, to me, they can see that my face is pained watching them, because I know how much it means to them. It's that it's not necessarily the movie; it's the connection to their former life, or finding it in the video store or their dad. And they used to bond really well when they were kids. And I've had ladies call me, their daughter died later of cancer, but they used to always watch the movie. And man, I mean, what can I do with that other than think how lucky I am that I, that they're telling me this and being so kind. So I know I'm maybe droning and being a little bit sentimental, but there's always a story behind it. There's a reason why people drive 500 miles, and it's not the movie, but it's so much part of their life for one way or another. So, and it's just a little movie. You can have that about, a real, Transformers, or it could be Freddy Krueger, and so on. And those are real movies that you can just sink your teeth into. But I get it. And that's why people turn out. It's the connection of in their life and what it means to them. So what can I say? I am flattered. I am humbled, and it's always going to be that way. I'll never think enough of myself like, I'll, think some stupid thing like, you're in the presence of greatness. I know what I am. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Really. How cool.
I just posted in the chat on Twitch and on YouTube Eric's website. Again, if you guys want to go over there and pick up a signed 8x10 or a garbage can or an autographed poster, it's all right there on his website. Also, there's the opportunity to do virtual meet and greets with Eric. Those are available also. All that information is there. So go over to theericfreeman.com, ericfreeman.com to find out more. And let's go ahead and wrap it up there. I think that's a great way to, a great place to wrap it up. And again, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out tonight. It's been a lot of fun. It's always fun to hang out with you and talk about just, whatever. Movies, nutrition, guitars, cars. We didn't even talk about cars tonight. We'll save that for the next stream. We'll save that for the next stream. I will let everybody know Eric is an old school Mustang kind of guy. So, but we'll save that for the next stream.
All right. Yeah, no, we should do something closer to it's closer to December. Yeah. Yes. Or in December.
Yeah. Absolutely. That sounds fantastic to me. Yeah,
I appreciate this. It's hard for me to know who's out there because it's just you and I on the screen. But I thank you. You're extending yourself, and I hope I wasn't boring or blathered on. I know I did. I'm sorry.
Not at all. Not at all.
But,
not at all.
All right.
Not at all.
All right.
But again, huge thanks to everybody who tuned in tonight. Let me give some shout outs here. Let's see who's still with us over on Twitch. Scary Jerry, T-Bob, Big Crack Rock, Sinister Antics, Supersized Blockbuster. Also, thank you for subscribing tonight, Supersized Blockbuster. We've got Carpe Horror and Sting of the Scorpion 78. Let's see who's still with us over on YouTube. Jamie B. Jamie B says you're a legend. I guess she's talking to both of us there. We're both legends, Eric. Why not?
I agree.
Let's see. My buddy Steak Sauce, Jamie. Jamie says, thanks, Eric. You're awesome.
Steak Sauce and Jamie. Jamie, very kind of you.
Let's see.
I like steak sauce.
Yeah, Steak Sauce. You've seen Steak Sauce on some of my streams in the past.
I have. I love steak sauce, and it's so cool. It's like Heinz 57, Worcestershire. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
Steak sauce.
My buddy Keith, Captain Halloween, Jeff Overing, Aaron Lewis, Gabe K. Okla. Lauren is in the chat. Keep moving forward with the Griffith Gang. Interesting name. The Griffin, keep moving forward with the Griffin Gang says, Piz, is there any way Eric can tell Luke from Backroom Horror happy 18th birthday? So this is my buddy Luke from West Virginia. Can you wish Luke a happy 18th birthday, Eric?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Luke. Happy 18th birthday, buddy.
There you
Watch
go.
SNDN 2. Yeah, garbage day.
Hey, there you go, man.
How's that?
There you go, man. That made his birthday. Let's see. Influence Films is still with us. My buddy Dave Vanderhoff, Josh Fulci fan 101. Al is still with us. Let's see. The Firefly Family Podcast, my buddy Devin. Let's see who else is still here. Joe Reese. Jess Graham, Lance Lust. You're going to have to tell me how to pronounce that name. Naz, I'm guessing the X's are silent. Nazzle. That's as close as I think I'm going to get to that one. Martin from Japan, all the way from Japan. Thank you, Martin. There's Raiho, Lou M, Dr. Splinter, my buddy Monty, Stanley Runk. So yeah, lively chat tonight. Everybody had a good time. It looks like everybody had fun hanging out, and yeah, they definitely want more Eric in the future. We'll have to do it again in the very near future. So thank you so much. He says you have no idea how much he will love that. Freaking legends, both of you. Okay, cool. Thank you, and happy birthday, Luke. Hope you had a good one today, bud. All right, so I'm gonna cut the show there. I'm gonna take you guys out on some great hold on just for 1 second, Eric. I'm gonna take you guys out on some great Christian Hanna horror tunes. And again, thanks so much for tuning in. There's Joey showing up a little bit late, but Joey, how you doing? All right, you guys have a great night, and we'll see you again soon. Tomorrow night I'm doing my patron stream. That begins at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, so tune in for that one. All right, you guys have a great night. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
I've been in a cave 40 days.